What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Reality Kingdom, where we put the real in reality or whatever. Period.
Period. And we put the
I'm your host,
claim to
into
fame.
fame. Thank you. I'm your host, Pharaoh. We're joined by our wonderful co-host, Lee. Lee, this is episode 3. We had the boy in sheep's
The
the
wolf
wolf.
in
Girl,
boys'
what?
clothing.
The boy who cried wolf.
The boy who called.
We had the wolf in boy's clothing this episode, and the wolf went home.
The wolf went home, child.
Child.
Honestly,
And also,
Miguel, he was definitely an all-star. If they could do an all-star version of this, he was definitely an all-star. I mean, I thought he was gonna win. I mean, the fact that he's related to Jamie Lee Curtis is a gag.
girl, a whole. We would have had to get his clue. I would have had to get his clue for me to ever know that. I would have.
And they were so stuck on him being a Spanish person, which is what he wanted. He wanted people to think he was more Latin than what he was. And girl, because Jamie Lee Curtis, that's gag worthy, mama. Like, oh, you know,
and I
Jamie
know
Lee.
her.
You're right. Because sometimes I don't be knowing.
I wonder what those clues on that wall were for Jamie Lee.
Girl, probably something with Freaky Friday.
I was thinking Freaky Friday, but I'm like, which one? We gonna pull out
Everything Everywhere All at Once. Child. Unfortunately, she's Oscar Award winner, Jamie Lee Curtis. Now,
don't gag her like
it could have went some. I mean, I don't want to bring up that discourse. I want to bring up that
Who
discourse.
should have won the Oscar, Lee?
Angela motherfucking Bassett.
For what role?
For Queen Ramonda and the Black Panther.
I've given you
everything.
Oh, what was it? Have I not? Let me remember the line. Hold on, I got you.
Have I not given you everything?
What did she say before that?
I am the queen.
I am the queen of the most powerful nation
in the world, and my entire family is gone.
It's gone. Have I not given everything?
I gotta watch that again. I gotta watch. I haven't seen that scene in a minute. As soon as we're done with this, I'm going to Disney Plus and watch that. Because good lord! But you know, and I've also watched everything. Sure. I've also watched Everything Everywhere All at Once. Jamie Lee Curtis, she played her part. It's just I didn't understand why out of everyone in the movie to win, she won. Like if that other actress, who played the daughter in the film won, it would have made more sense. But she didn't even win. Like the fact that Jamie Lee beat Angela there, I was like,
for that particular role, because Jamie Lee is a wonderful actress in certain roles. But for that particular role, I just think the role didn't require an Oscar. Personally, that was not an Oscar-worthy supporting role. Period. It should have just immediately been Angela.
Because honestly, when I watched the movie, her role was there, but supporting is crazy. The supporting actress is the one who plays the daughter, Stephanie Sue. She should have won the award because she literally is playing the supporting actress. The whole movie is about Michelle Yeoh's character creating a relationship with her daughter and her husband. You know, so I don't understand why Jamie Lee, who literally plays a demonic clerk, wins Best Supporting Actress.
It's just so random, and I know.
I wish at least Stephanie had beat Angela Bassett because that makes more sense. But the fact that Jamie Lee did, it's no shade because I know it's some Jamie Lee defenders. So if you think otherwise, hey, you think that. But
and they're gonna get on you because I know, or they're gonna get on you because I know the supporting act. It can be anyone supporting. We know that.
I know that.
We know it. We know she's eligible.
But my issue is she wasn't even the best supporting actress, and that's the problem.
There you go.
The best supporting actress in the movie wasn't even awarded. So if you were going to award somebody, award the actual best supporting actress, which was Stephanie in this case. If you were going to give it to Stephanie, it should have went to Angela. And that's on motherfucking period.
It should have just went to Angela, actually, regardless.
And that's on period.
That performance in Black, she
I'm getting chills thinking about it. When I tell you I'm going to go watch that movie,
it was amazing.
I have to.
It was an amazing performance. Honestly, I might have to too. Okay, so let's get into the claim to fame. So we started off the episode, and Miguel, of course, he has his thing, and he's really close with Diedrich, and we see their dynamic throughout this episode because you know what it leads up to. So Diedrich is at first talking to Danny, and he's talking about how his uncle, one of the things he remembered about his uncle is his uncle would take them to Toys R Us, and one day he just picked them up in the middle of the day.
Michael Jackson.
And took and took them to Toys R Us and bought them a whole bunch of toys and filled up all the buckets and da 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 da. So yeah, Michael Jackson took his nephews to Toys R Us, y'all.
Right.
I know
You still
that's
got
right.
the cast pictures?
Yeah, I got them up. You want to see them? I
Yeah,
know
because
that's
you
right.
said a few names. I said, ooh. I don't think I know him good that yet. I don't know
Episode
him that well yet.
3. So boom. The pictures on
Okay.
the screen. Go to YouTube, y'all. Thank you. So yes, DJ was talking about how his uncle Michael Jackson took them to Toys R Us.
And not Little Richard, of course.
And not Little Richard. So Danny goes and he talks to a group of people, including Naomi, and he's basically like, "Yeah, I think Dietrich's related to someone who was really famous around the '80s because the way he was talking, it gave like the '80s." And Naomi
Michael
was like,
Jackson.
"It's giving a Jackson because he slipped up and said Mr. Jackson." That was a crazy slip up because it's
Like,
basically confirmed
girl,
he's
come
related
on.
to Michael
There's
Jackson.
only one famous
So
Jackson.
that's crazy.
Well, it's a whole family of them, but shit. Still, we all
It's
know
a family. Literally. But
him. Like
yes,
he could be
that
one
was
of the
a
Jackson
crazy slip
Five.
up for him to say that. You know what's crazy, Lee? We were just talking about what if they're related to a famous family, but I think we got our answer because like the clue was specifically Michael
Yeah.
Jackson.
And people
Like that
said in
was
the
his
comments too,
clue.
you have to pick a specific person. So even if it is to a famous family, it has to be the specific person that you pick, which I guess I understand for sure. Because the clue for Michael Jackson, I'm assuming it's Michael Jackson, was definitely specifically for him. It
Yeah.
wouldn't work for any of the other members.
Yeah. At all. So that makes sense, I guess. So everybody got him clocked for sure. Well, not everybody. You thought you not everybody,
Well,
but
I'm wondering
Naomi
if
has
he's
him
gonna
clocked.
be a layup like Eddie Murphy. I believe that was his daughter, and then Simone Biles' sister, because they kept them around for a while, and I love both of them so bad. The layups are so funny because they really just there. Because if you know it's somebody, you might as well just keep them around until you know for sure you can use it. But this cast is honestly so bad so far that they might just cash in on it because they haven't gotten any right, and I think it's because they are like these are very distant celebrity relatives, like not like too crazy, but like nieces and nephews and cousins and shit is way different from daughter, son,
Daughters.
you know what I mean? Because we had a lot of lookalikes in previous seasons. There are no lookalikes here. Like Simone Biles' sister looked just like her. Like girl, spitting image, crazy. I don't see that here. Like Miguel for Jamie Lee Curtis, girl, gagged my eleganza down. So I just feel like they're not gonna be able to guess anybody, so they may want to go ahead and use Diedrich soon.
Honestly, I agree 100% because girl, it's been so hard this season. The only one I got is
Everyone
Molly
has gotten
Ringwald.
one wrong. Every single person got up there and got out because they got it wrong.
Yep, very true. Child, so this leads us to the challenge. So the challenge is telephone, which they had on season 1 for sure. I didn't watch season 2, so I don't know. But it's where they have to they're in teams and the teams have to figure out these phrases based off of the phone call that Frankie/Kevin gives them, and then they have to say it to the other teammate through another phone, and the other phone has a bullhorn and blah blah blah. Y'all know how the fuck telephone works. Thank you. So they played the telephone game, and they chose team captains. That's important. Let me go back. The team captains were Danny and Shane. Danny picked his team, Adam Hud McKenzie, and Shane picked his team, Miguel Naomi Diedrich. And of course, the losing captain is automatically going to be in the bottom, and they have to choose someone from their team to be in the bottom with them. So when we played the challenge, first of all, Shane's team flopped bad.
And it was because of Naomi.
Like
Naomi
what?
spent damn near 30 goddamn minutes trying to figure out Long Island dressing. Thousand Island dressing.
Thousand Island. And I get it. I do get it. Because it's like it's tricky. But she took the entire time. They timed out. They didn't even get to do their they didn't even get to do their second clue because they timed out. And it's like, child.
And I was thinking, like, because you know, Danny's team, they spent a while on them. So I'm just thinking, oh, we're gonna spend the same amount of time on Shane's team. It's the fact that they were done so quickly because she literally ran up the clock doing it. I was like, is she throwing it? Like, girl. But then she got it like at the last minute.
Throwing it is crazy. Yeah, no, that was actually insane. They flopped real bad. So Shane's team lost, and that means Shane's automatically.
I just realized there's only 2 women left.
That's not.
Ciao. They all
Ew.
been going home.
So yeah, they all have been going home. Gracie Lou, Lizzie McGuire,
Lizzie McGuire.
and the black lady who went home first.
Bianca,
Damn,
I
that's
think her name was.
crazy. Bianca. Wow. Boom. So Shane team loses, and the Jonas Brothers tell him he has to pick his he has to pick his person who's going down in the bottom with him immediately, and he immediately chooses Miguel because Miguel ain't shit. Everybody knows Miguel is walking
Girl,
around
don't
like
nobody like
he
Miguel
looking
at
for crazy.
all. They
They're
hate
sick of him.
Miguel.
And I get it because he's like he doesn't really care to pretend to like he's not even pretending. Basically, everybody knows he's a snake and he's
Like,
not
he's
gonna tell no
shady
real
as
information.
hell. He's a
And
very
he gonna lie to
obvious
them.
shady as fuck person. It's all over his face, really.
And I kind of love that he doesn't care to be shady. I love that, but child, that's why they didn't care to put your ass in the bottom. Okay,
Right.
thank you. And then unanimously voted for him to be
Girl, unanimous vote. That like
to be the
they did not
guest
give a fuck about him at all.
at all. Deserved, honestly, truly deserved.
Yeah,
Truly,
I
truly deserved.
reminded of him walking out of the room on Adam and Naomi and him listening by the
Yes.
door, and Adam walks out and literally catches him. And then every time they show someone talking about him, they cut to him quickly running up and down the stairs of the
Yes.
castle. Like so many random things. And in this episode, he had the food in his mouth. And then to talk, he took the entire food out
Oh
because he wouldn't
God.
chew and put it back on the plate. It's like he just he's interesting to say the least. But
Oh
girl, that's
God.
Jamie Lee Curtis. What
Nephew child.
Nephew child.
Yeah, that's
Raphael.
right. So Raphael. So the clues. Oh, in the challenge, the riddles they were figuring out were also clues, of course. So the clues that they were. Let's read the limericks out. The first limerick is: on the mountain there once was a lion. I'm immediately thinking Lion King. In a handmade rose dress, rose-colored dress.
Sale.
I don't know what that is. In a handmade rose-colored dress, rose. I'm thinking of Titanic. She was styling.
Period.
But her, what was that? But her something was bad. But her, I forgot. Toga.
It was a good.
Her something was bad. I just don't know what that item is.
Is that the Thousand Island one?
No. Oh, yes, it is. But her toga was bad. I don't know. And it made the town sad. And they shipped her right off to the island. So they shipped somebody right off to the island. Rose-colored dress. She was styling, shipped her right off to the island. This is the one that they were thinking of Madagascar, which is so funny because last episode, last recap, when we got the giraffe clue, I immediately thought David Schwimmer because he's this voice of the giraffe in Madagascar, which is so hilarious because this one also could be mistaken as Madagascar, but it's like maybe the giraffe clue was for both David Schwimmer and Michael Jackson. Like, is that possible? That is for both of them? Like, why they can't have the same clue? It works.
They
for
definitely
both.
wouldn't have the same clue. No, they wouldn't do that.
So what if his person is David Schwimmer? They just wouldn't have a giraffe, or the giraffe just wouldn't be him, or he just probably wouldn't be David Schwimmer.
He probably just wouldn't be David Schwimmer.
So he's probably just not David Schwimmer. That's crazy because the only one I can think of is the one they thought of for this, which is Madagascar. I feel like that made so much sense.
I think he would be. I honestly think he probably would be David Schwimmer, but I don't know. Maybe it's just not for Michael Jackson because Michael Jackson he owned a lot of zoo animals, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be him. Because the most popular animal he owned was his monkey, not a giraffe.
Yeah, so maybe it just so happened could be both because Diedrich said himself in the diary room the giraffe was his
that was dancing. On the mountain there was once a lion in a handmade rose-colored dress. She was styling, but her dancing was bad.
Oh, but her dancing and the dancing was bad was the part that made Miguel think maybe it's potentially Michael Jackson because he doesn't get the clue later on. And he's like, dancing was bad. That's definitely given. I'm bad, you know it.
Yeah, her dancing was bad, and it made the town sad, so they shipped her off to an island.
Okay, so this could be multiple people's clues.
And no honestly, idea. None of it makes sense to me.
None idea. Next, Um, this the one was the toga. His toga was in disarray. I know what a toga is, but I can't think of anybody who wearing a toga
No.
on an oddly peculiar Friday. Why specifically Friday? The horse's
Because
name
this
was
horse's
Friday.
name is Friday.
On an oddly peculiarly Friday, he wrote a Toffee Docky song. What was it? Not Toffee Docky. Honky Dory. He wrote a Honky Dory song, but his hair was too long, and his bodega needed
A honky tonk song.
a styling. Girl, none of it makes sense.
Yeah, his toga was in disarray.
None of it makes sense.
On an oddly peculiar Friday, he wrote a honky tonk song, but his hair was too.
Oh, this is Elvis. Too long.
And his pompadour needs a spray.
His pompadour needs a styling. This is Elvis, isn't it?
Hey, Elvis did have a pompadour.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. Honky Tonk song just reminds me of Elvis. I don't know.
Does he have a famous song about Friday?
Maybe he does. Let's look into that because this is definitely giving Elvis. Maybe Adams or HUD. Maybe HUD's relative is Elvis. Okay, but if that's
the connection to Friday when I Google Elvis Presley's Friday.
Okay, so maybe not. On oddly peculiar Friday, he wrote a honky tonk song, but his hair was too long, and his bodega. Damn, what is that thing called?
Oh no! It says Elvis Presley Friday Music Vinyl. This one says Friday Music LLC is a critically acclaimed record label. I'm assuming that might be in connection to Elvis, but I don't know.
That's great. It's funny because I genuinely the Friday part isn't like if I was a contestant, I would think Elvis because of the hair part, in the honky tonk song. So if I had got that, I ate that up. Like honestly, right now I'm thinking HUD. Last episode I was thinking David Schwimmer because of the giraffe. If I'm eating it up like this, put me on the show.
Are you though? I don't know. I feel like it's too vague, but
I could be wrong about all of them.
I feel like it may just be too vague, and that's what scares me. I would be not sure about any of these.
So they shipped her right off to the island.
On the boat on the island.
So yeah, no, I have no idea. Next.
Because basically, it's every sentence a new one for someone else. Like his title was in disarray for someone else. On the oddly peculiar Fridays for someone else. And is it supposed to be like that, or the entire phrase for one person?
I was going back and forth between the two. I was definitely going back and forth between the two because they were saying the first one is Madagascar because the first line was talking about the lion and the last line was saying shipped off to an island. So they're like, maybe Madagascar. So they're thinking both of those are about one person. But then again, you can probably also separate it to most of the people. So girl,
every week I say this would be too hard for me.
So this one helps. Next. So of course Danny ends up winning. So he gets these clues written down for him so that way he can study them and look at them more clearly. And he also gets the clue. He also gets the clue. Before he gets the clue, when they go back to the villa, Shane, of course, he had chosen Miguel, and Miguel kind of calls him out. And he was like, well, why'd you choose me? And Shane was like, well, if I would have chosen Naomi, I feel like because Naomi has a clue, people would have made me the guesser because they would have been like, okay, Naomi might guess me. We don't know. Da, da, da. So he was like, look, I had a better chance because with you, you'll probably be the guesser. And he's definitely right. And he's right because Miguel was unanimously voted as the guesser for
unanimous is so insane.
So Miguel went and he started panicking as he does, and he's
running up and down the castle walls, girl.
Well, first, right there, he said, "Naomi, do you mind sharing me your clue then, so that way I can have a chance?" And Naomi was like, "Well, no,
not."
Absolutely not. Actually, she was not doing that. Then he goes and he talks to Mackenzie, and Mackenzie is someone he hasn't talked to before. They haven't coalitioned at all. But Mackenzie was like, "Look, I'm not gonna just sit here and maybe get picked by him. I'm gonna give him some real tea."
Period.
So she was like, look, I'm going to help you out. And she says she thinks the limerick is about Madagascar. And she thinks Adams, and the giraffe clue from last round, the one I clocked. And she said, both of those make me think David Schwimmer because he voiced the giraffe in Madagascar. That sounds so right.
It sounds right. It sound right.
So right. I feel like I clocked. And if that's the case, I clocked that even before. This would have this would have just confirmed my thought, and I'd have been like, Adam is, or someone is definitely related to David Schwimmer. I just wouldn't. I would have had to figure out which one of them it was.
Yeah.
So, child, that would have been
Would
very.
you have known the name? Because you knew you said the giraffe. But
I did not know David Schwimmer was a draft, but I probably would have like talked to
maybe you could just
Mackenzie.
ask somebody. Oh,
Yeah.
who's the actor that played the giraffe in Madagascar?
Yeah, I would have. Someone would have knew. Mackenzie knew. So hopefully she would have said it. So she tried to give him that layup, or she tried to give him that help so that way he wouldn't choose her. Good idea, good strategy. And honestly, I think she could be. I think that's more right than Little Richard being Diedrich, because that was clearly wrong.
Right.
So
I feel
boom.
like with Diedrich, they was just going based off look, because
Yeah, he does look similar.
but
He also does
right there.
He also does look like one of his brothers. I don't know all the Jackson brothers, I'm not gonna lie, but he does look like one of them as well. So that makes a lot of sense. But he also does look like Little Richard. He just looked famous. He looks related to a famous person.
He do.
Honestly. So Danny gets his clue. And he picks Diedrich. And girl, this is Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. Scarecrow who
moonwalks
walks backwards into. Now I just don't know the second part at all. But that has to be Scarecrow who moonwalked.
Scarecrow, yeah, that's what I see immediately. Scarecrow who moonwalked.
I can't get Joyce. So let's figure this out. In joystick L airplane or
Neverland
runway.
Neverland. I don't, because it's a lever. In plus lever minus.
Girl, you better do it, mama. You better do it, mama. So Scarecrow who moonwalked into Neverland. Girl, this is Michael Jackson.
This is Michael Jackson. So Diedrich's clue is, Diedrich's person is 100% Michael Jackson. And then when Miguel is talking to Diedrich about his theories, he's like, one of my theories is maybe the David Schwimmer thing. And he's like, because of the giraffe. And Diedrich is like, the giraffe is my clue. So Diedrich even thinks the giraffe is his clue. And then someone pointed out on the clue wall, they have bubbles. These bubbles at the top, these blue bubbles. And they were like, girl, bubbles. Look, bubbles.
Go back to your habitat.
Go back to your habitat.
And he ain't having that.
And then we been saw the Scarecrow. And then they also said, and then of course the giraffe clue keeps coming up, and he has animals and stuff. So they were trying to all associate all of those with Michael Jackson.
Given the giraffe is for David Schwimmer.
I think so too. And Diedrich just thinks it's for him because a lot of that's the thing. A lot of clues could be for Michael Jackson.
What their clues are?
I don't know if they know what their clues are. I don't think they know. I think they just see them and they're like, "That's my clue." So I think he thinks that's his clue, but
it could be hella animals.
Michael Hall and hella animals. I think it's David Schwimmer though. I do, but I don't know anything. I don't know nothing about David Schwimmer. I didn't even know his name was David Schwimmer, personally. So I've
heard that name before. Wouldn't be able to connect that he was the giraffe in Madagascar. And that's just the problem. I don't know enough. I clearly don't. Don't.
I just shouldn't do it. I just shouldn't be on the show. Truly. Honestly.
I can't be, thankfully.
I can't be. So Danny and Shane are clearly, I guess, friends, because Danny shares the clue with Shane. Mm-hmm. He shares the clue and he's like, look, if you go in, this is the clue. I got your back. With the woo. So he shares that clue and they're trying to figure it out together. They still can't figure out the end part. But they got the beginning part, same as us. So, we figured it out.
We clocked. You.
I would have shared it with you, for sure. Period. So, meanwhile, while this is happening, Mackenzie is like, I want to test Adam because she wants to test this theory she has about David Schwimmer. So she mentions to Adam, she's like, Miguel low-key thinks you're David Schwimmer because of this giraffe and da-da-da-da. And she's like, I want to know his reaction. And Adam is kind of like, ooh, well, can I just ask that if he's ever theorizing, push Matthew McConaughey? And that was it. Mm-hmm. And it's like,
and he was like, oh, I just want to go lay down.
Yeah.
In the other room. I'm kind of tired. And it's like, girl, does your tea get clocked and you're scared?
That's what it's giving.
It's giving, and it's like clocked and he's scared.
And honestly, it's like, if he would have, because basically he had that response, and Mackenzie feels 99% sure about it now. And I'm just thinking, if he had the response with me, I would feel super sure about it too. So either he could be playing me and making me feel
Right.
really confident about it, or it's
Or
actually
it's just
David
David
Schwimmer and he
motherfucking
got his
Schwimmer.
T clocked. I think this is what I think right now. Adam's person is David Schwimmer. Hud's is Elvis Presley. Diedrich's is Michael Jackson. Naomi's is Molly
Molly
Ringwald.
Won't.
I don't know Mackenzie's, Danny's, or Shane's. I think Danny is related to a Samoan. So I don't know who's a Samoan because he said a wrestler. And the wrestlers I thought of, I was like, okay, who could they be? There's all these different options. And I know there are some Samoan wrestlers out there. And he said something this episode that made me think. Oh, he didn't say anything. The way he was talking, I was like, "Is this a black man on my screen?" And then I looked up, and it was
Right.
Danny, and I was like, he's probably not white because I think one of his tricks quotations could be like, "Oh, okay, he's seen white. He could not be white. He doesn't have to be white. He could just be a fair skinned Samoan guy or something." So that would be very interesting. Shane, no idea. Couldn't tell you who Shane
Yeah.
was.
I have no
personally.
idea. I
So
think
I
Shane
don't know.
this season for sure.
He
Because I don't think
could, because I
anyone will
don't
be able
think
to
no
guess.
one
Like everyone
knows.
else seems guessable at this point. No one has any inkling of
Yeah.
Shane. I'm surprised no one has gotten his clue.
Honestly, yeah, because I feel like the clues they're getting is for people they could have figured out. Danny getting DJ's clue, I don't think that was necessary. They already had the theory with the
Girl, it was Michael
Jackson.
Jackson. Next.
Yeah, like I don't know why he took his clue. I would have took someone way more. I probably would have took Lee. You said it yourself. You probably would have took Miguel. Now,
Yeah.
his strategy was smart. He said, "I'm not taking Miguel because Miguel's probably going to go home this round,"
Which he
and he
did.
did.
So it should have been
he
like
ate that up. But
Adam or
still,
somebody like
pick some.
I will pick someone. I feel like my strategy would be picking someone who I'm not sure about at all. Because most of the time with these clues,
like at all.
Most of the time with these clues, you figure it out by the clue. These clues are very, very obvious sometimes if you're able to figure it out. Oh, can you hear me?
I'm back. My shit. Yeah, my shit glitched.
We never went away from me.
So after this, after he gets the clue, Miguel, he's worried because he knows he's going in, and he has theories with Mackenzie. He has theories with Adam. The theory with Mackenzie is that Adam's person is probably David Schwimmer. The theory with Adam is that Diedrich's person is potentially Michael Jackson or Little Richard. So he's like, I think it could be Michael Jackson because of the limerick, because that's what Mackenzie told him. And then Diedrich is like, well, don't you think it's probably more likely Little Richard? I feel like that makes more sense. And Miguel has a diary and he's like, I don't really trust Mackenzie because I haven't gamed with her until this round. I trust Adam a little bit more. And then we go to the guest off and Miguel chooses Diedrich, and then he picks the idea that Adam told him, which was Little Richard, and it was wrong. And it's like, girl, you should have listened to Mackenzie. I feel.
You should have. Because there was nothing pointing to Little Richard other than what he looks like at all.
Literally.
So he played himself, and it's similar to like Gracie Lou last episode. It's like you seem more gang focused than that. So it's like the fact that you kind of just accepted this little piece of information. I guess you're just so desperate trying to figure it out, especially when you know nobody, that you'll take anything. But it just seems like, I don't know, they could have just sorted out the information a little bit more, because Little Richard was pulled out of somebody's ass.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like you know how you can freeze up in a test or if you're on stage. I wonder if it's like that. Like you really just getting too much in your head and overthinking it. Like I could see, I'm going back and forth. Which one is it? And I don't know. And then you're choosing the one that's wrong. And it's like, calm down, breathe.
Because the thing is, you truly don't know. And I mean, they've been wrong every single time. It's like I said, especially with this season, this is one of the hardest seasons. I mean, I was able to figure out some in the last two seasons myself, but this time I can't tell you shit.
Child, and I think I got them all clocked. Put me on the show,
girl.
Well, if I'm right, we're gonna see. Because I just listed all my ideas. If I'm right, put me on the show. Thank you. So boom. Miguel goes home and they reveal he's related to Jamie Lee Curtis. Such a gag.
Gag and a half.
Such a gag. And then that was it. And now we have our top 7, which is already at top 7. It's kind of crazy now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's the third episode.
It's going to be a shorter season, because it usually ends with like a top top 2, but it's 3 people on that last episode, so
Yeah.
you be that much left.
So
3
what
what?
would it be, like 8 episodes then? Because if this is episode 3,
7,
so
probably 8,
8 episodes instead of 10. That's interesting.
and I'm fine with that.
I am fine with that
Because
as
no
well.
shade, in comparison to these other 2 seasons, like, I think it's
It's
really
not
the
the best.
cast. I'm not as attracted, as gravitated to the cast as previous seasons. Like season 2 cast was elite. Like I think top tier. Like the messiness and the characters were great. And then season 1, overall it wasn't great. Like it was some. I don't really remember everyone from season 1, but a few
Mhm.
characters really stand out and made that season. This
I
season,
agree.
like,
Meh. Even I feel like even the quotation standouts, they're going home because
yeah,
Gracie Lou was amazing. I loved her.
yep.
Went home second,
Miguel,
and Miguel, and he went home. So it's like now I'm stuck with. I think Molly Ringwald cousin is very what is her name? Naomi. That's definitely Molly Ringwald cousin. She is she was interesting the episode she got out of Gracie Lou, but then now it's like, oh, okay, you're back and faded in the bag. So it's like we don't have any standouts. A bunch of average people.
yeah.
So yeah, there's that. So we'll be here next week though to talk about the next episode of Claim to Fame, or of course also in our Big Brother era, get into our Big Brother coverage, and we are finishing RuPaul's Drag Race as well. So get into that as well. And thank you for keeping it real with the Kingdom, girl. We're out. Bye.
Yeah.
Aw.